Oh, you can read that again.
And have been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh reproved them and found them worthy for himself.
Right, that's why it says in first Esdras, these have put off the mortal and put on the immortal. You know, putting off the weak nature. You know, this is oh yeah, it was. This is Job 5 and 17. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High, how about Shemi Yahushua, corrected. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. So hey, things you're going through is the chastening of the Most High. You know, whether you lose your woman, family get broken up, fuck it, man. That bitch, the Most High took her out because she's no good for you anyway. The Most High accept you from people in the world, your family and shit. Fuck it. You know, you find yourself alone sometimes. Hey,
All for the betterment. You know what I'm saying? Like the scripture say, he deals with us with a heavy hand. You know what I'm saying? It might hurt you, but it's really to build you up, make you stronger.
it's purifying you, man.
Purifying you.
Because you put that gold in the fire to purify it, man. Get out all of the impurities. So that
Disattach, get you disengaged, because he grooming you to be for the times that's coming.
right, to make you strong, man. Because you're gonna have to have a strong ass gut, you know. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a strong gut, you know, in order for you to stand in times to come. Because you're gonna see some crazy shit.
Like the brother, you seen the brother on video on California, on Brother Amoff,
No.
about niggas struggle. No, gotta watch that video. How he was showing how all the dead bodies was on the ground, man. And that just get you know how he do his video, he gives you a visual, you know, like a little movie, just, you know what I'm saying? And he just gave you like, I was like, wow. So that was just going through my head. I was like, damn. Like you coming outside, you see dead bodies.
It's gonna be like that. You might see fucking you might walk out your house one day, see a chopped off head, you know,
Yup.
a fucking brutally woman,
Yup.
her body, because you know she's got grapes, you know, all type of shit. It says lay utterly old, take it down and to stand firm.
You're gonna be walking down the street, broad daylight, seeing Eve getting raped by a gang of troops or a bunch of some bandits.
You gotta be in the spirit of Eli.
Yeah.
You say this ain't my, you know, this ain't my business. You know, I'm on a mission. Keep pushing. That's judgment.
Yep.
You know, it ain't my business. You know, that shit, old woman that you used to deal with gonna start hitting you up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
a lot of these women are homeless and shit. They're lonely. You know, they used to treat the men of the Lord like shit. But now that the Most High destroying this place, they gonna start hitting brothers up, man.
That's how Eve do, because once Eve loses that bad bitch, about a good 6 months or a year, now she call you up out of the blue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Act like she could care, but when you got getting into her, you're like, oh, you lost your job, oh, the other, or you got put out, or something bad happened to you, that's why she called you. You know what I'm saying? Jakes and Eve don't like to be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, the Most High is bringing great discomfort, man.
Yeah. Yep.
A great humbling too, a humble pie.
It's like you call that a disease. That's that disease,
Right.
not comfortable. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right. And also, women, they're creatures of survival. You know, so they'll do whatever it takes to survive.
Fine. Yep.
You know, so on that, that's why it says in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. They just trying to survive.
Yep.
At that point, they don't give a fuck no more. They don't care about sharing.
Sharon. They
You
see,
know?
see with Eve, she don't got no shame. That's why she do the shit she do. She ain't got no shame with you. You know what I'm saying? She'll embarrass herself at any time.
You had this one. I think there was in. I forgot what it was at, but I think there was in Texas, where they just stopped traffic to fucking twerk.
Yeah, I seen that.
You know,
I put that in my lesson.
enough for them to cause a huge pile up. You know, a lot of people be texting when they be driving and shit. That's tempting the Lord. You know, this is Job 5 and 18. For he maketh sore and bindeth up, he wounded, and his hands make whole. So, you know, Most High, he got the power to whoop your ass, chastise you, fuck you up, but then he can also heal you, though. You know, that's the case in point with us.
That's some showing mercy.
You know,
Destruction and mercy at the same time. They'll put you through it, they heal you. Even putting you to death is healing. You know?
that's putting you at rest.
Rest.
That's actually the ultimate form of mercy.
Mercy.
Because you understand, the Most High take you out right now. You died doing the work, so you know you're the elect. You got your crown. You don't gotta worry about Jacob's trouble. You don't gotta worry about the nuclear destruction. You don't gotta worry about not taking the RFID chip. You know, that's a huge blessing.
Yeah. It may be sad to the people that's on the earth to see you go. But spiritually, you know, people that's spiritual will see that's mercy, that's blessing.
Even if you got certain loved ones that happen, the Most High happen to take them, you gotta think about, well, you know, to my grandparents, you know, my great grandparents, the Most High took them out, but hey, they don't have to deal with Jacob's trouble, famine, pestilence. They're good.
Same thing with my mom, my auntie, my cousins, my grandmother. Took them out, you know what I'm saying? Just in time, you know. There was my cousin, she was sick. You know what I'm saying? I know she ain't a violent person. That's not. So I know this time will come. She live in New York too. That's the belly of the beast for beat them out. You know, going to her out. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't even strong to go through this fucking thing. You know what I'm saying?
Back to
In the verse 6, as gold.
I'll call out again.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 6. As gold in the furnace have he tried them, and he received them as burnt offerings. Verse 7. In the time of their visitation.
Right, so the visitation meaning what? Meaning the Most High is going to raise up his men and give them that power. Right, and there that power, that people shall be willing. So that's the visitation. Most High is going to visit this place. Most High is already visiting. You know, there's a solar eclipse coming up on the 29th, which you just had a blood moon on the night of the Passover. You know?
And they shall shine, and they run to and fro like sparks among stubble.
So that literally shine. You know what I'm saying? Because what happened when Moses came out the mount? You know, he had that glow about him, that wisdom. It says wisdom maketh a man's face to shine. You know, so you having that power, that's a very high form of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And going back to Dragon Ball Z, what happened? They power up, they shine, they glow. You know?
Start seeing them jumping around, like seeing smart. Boom, 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 boom.
Yep,
yeah.
Leroy.
Yeah.
You know,
yep.
He had the glow at the end of the movie because he realized, like, oh shit, I am. You know, that's a powerful scene.
Yep.
You know, he kept whooping his ass. That's like you going to the hell. Who's the master?
Yep.
he finally clicked. Oh, I am. That's when he got the power.
You know what? I won't be I won't be surprised if the person that made Dragon Ball Z got the idea from that.
From the
gold.
Oh yeah.
Glowing. You know, of course from the scriptures. I see the biblical reference all through Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, Frieza's Esau, the Greeks, the Homos.
Yep.
They came there and enslaved the Saiyans, the Israelites. Planet Vegeta got destroyed. 70 AD.
Yep.
Goku got scattered.
Yep.
Goku's pretty much a you know, Israelite foreigner. You know, the hair. You know,
that's Afro.
So that's our history. You know, we got a very great history, man. You know?
Frieza race represents reptilian.
Represent Esau. Edomite.
Snake. He's that snake in the garden. Serpent. You know what I'm saying? So even Ammon knows something. You know, Ammon knows.
Well, going back to Judah, he said, if their God be with them, you better leave them alone. Most High gonna fuck you up in front of the whole world, like he did the ancient Egyptians.
Get embarrassed fucking with them. They bought their power.
This is Isaiah 59. And verse 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, Right. So that reminds me back to ancient Egypt, man. You know, when Mosai fucked up those Egyptians. All right, the fear fell on these nations. Rahab, you know, she said we heard about how the Lord dried. Matter of fact, let's get that. You know what I'm talking about? Joshua.
So Joshua, I ain't read it in a while.
Go to Joshua 2 and 10.
10.
We're in the modern day Egypt, man. The Mosai fucked ancient Egypt up, man. He turned their rivers into blood, so where they couldn't even drink the water. He sent the locusts to devour the crops, the frogs, the lice, plaguing their cattle. He was just Mosai was just toying with it, man. You know. And then what happened? He took all the firstborn because why he said, yep, we start at 10 because he said Israel is my firstborn. You know. Go ahead.
The book of Joshua, chapter 2, verse 10. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the waters of the Red Sea.
Right, so that's a great miracle. You know, and then with the Most High doing that, Pharaoh and them, all right, Pharaoh and his army pursued the Hebrews. When they tried to do it, the Most High drowned their ass. Drowned them in the Red Sea. All right, and this time the drowning in the Red Sea is going to be these armies, these militaries. All right, that's them being destroyed in the nuclear fires. That's the modern day drowning in the Red Sea. All right, but this time 2/3 of our people, they're going to drown in that Red Sea too.
When ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto two kings of the Amorites.
Right, when we was just, the Most High just said, it's called what? The conquest of Joshua. He's slaying shit, conquering, you know, destroying kings. All right, because the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua was with us, man. And he was showing us what would happen if we would you know, be obedient, and what would happen if we would be disobedient, like Achan. We took the garment. A lot of Israelites, they got put to flight and they died, but that's because, you know, what he did.
That was in the camp, you know what I'm saying? So they had to get rid of that level.
And then when the Most High, you know, they got rid of Achan ass, okay, I'm with you again.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it works.
Yep. Like I just said, it goes back to that level, you know. He sinned, he was told not to do it, get simply directions, not to take nothing from them. It's cursed. He did it anyway. That's Jake, our head. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And then guess what? When the next battle was with Hamites again, was losing.
Right, it's like, what the fuck, man? The Lord with us, how are we losing?
Yep.
You know?
There's somebody saying, hey, go do a diligent inquisition on trying to find out what's going on. He wanted him to find out. But luckily, they kind of had spirit to come forward.
And I believe they cast lots, and then it fell on Judah. You know what I'm saying? And then it fell on the house of Achan. That's why it's called trouble. Valley of trouble. You just had a nigga from, I believe it was a rapper. Don't you know his name was Trouble? He got put to death because he went to some bitch house. He went to her house, but she had another dude over there. They ended up tussling over a gun, and he put his ass to death. You know?
Always got Eve at the helmet.
Yeah. Through her, we all died. You know?
Joshua 2 and what?
10.
10, okay, yeah. And verse 9, and she said unto the man, I know that the Lord have given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us.
Right, so we're not going to be given this land, Babylon the Great, which is America. We're going to be given the land of Israel, which is our land. That's why it says in Isaiah 14, I will have mercy on Jacob and let choose Israel and set them in their land. You know?
And she said unto the man, I know that the Lord hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you.
So that's going to happen again. God said in Isaiah, Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. So Judah's the head tribe. The Lord said, I shall save the tents of Judah first.
The uprising still
breath.
Verse 10, for we have heard how the Lord dried up the waters of the Red Sea for you when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of Jordan, and Sihon and Og, and utterly destroyed. And as soon
Utterly destroying shit, man. All right, so imagine the men of the Lord getting raised up with the new bodies. You know, it's not gonna be nothing nobody can do. No super soldier, no goddamn Tesla robot, no newly created creatures, nothing. You know, running through thousands of the troops of fucking the Moabites, Hamites, Russians. Okay, these goddamn Russians, they're not gonna be the next to rule. All these nations, all these nations getting ready to be put in slavery.
Verse 11, and as soon as we have heard these things, our hearts did melt, neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your power, he is Yahweh, in his heaven above, in the earth beneath.
Right, going back to the name Yahweh, which means he exists or he is to be, and the name of the Son is Yahweh Shai, which means he is the deliverer. All right, when we have one without power, man, can't no nation stand with us, man. Can't nobody fuck with us. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna get that in Judah. No, so I mentioned it earlier. This is the book of Judah, chapter 5. And verse 17. Kind of get right to the point. Judah 5 and 17. And while they sin not before their power, they prosper. Because the power that hated iniquity was with them. So we have to hate with the most. So people got a problem with God hating. The Most High hates iniquity. But not just iniquity, he hates the person too. Sin and the sinner. Because this world, he hates the sin. No, he hates both. You know? It says, but when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore. As the Lord said it, man, the wages of sin is death. You know? And were led captives into a land that was not theirs. That happened over in Babylon. You know, the temple got destroyed. The Edomites jumped in. You know, the Greeks, when they defiled the temple, the Romans. You know, it says, and the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. But now, they return to their power. All right, because God is a title that just means power, you know. And are come up from the places where they were scattered and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are scattered in the hill country, for it was desolate. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in his people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. So as long as our people stay in sin, they could overcome us, man. They could have their foot on our necks, you know, which is why they keep the churches on every corner, the liquor stores, the drugs flowing, you know.
It's like kryptonite, you know, so that's our kryptonite. And that's let you know who the Superman, who the real deal, you know.
Especially that rap music, man.
Yeah.
You know, because that rap music pushes the spirit of adultery, pushes the spirit of gangster hip hop, so-called black on black crime. It pushes that.
Hey, water. The weakness is the money, green. And don't you know the kryptonite, Superman's green? I just thought about that, you know.
And also, that's a good point, because when you look at this fucking money, that's a snare unto our people, because a lot of our people, they sell out because, you know, they're catching so much hell. They just want to live a good, comfortable life. You're not going to live a good, comfortable life here, man. You know what it says in Timothy? The love of money is the root of all evil. So you think you're going to sell out to live a better life. Now you're just catching more hell. And in the end, you're going to still die with nothing. You know? So ain't no escaping the curses, the judgment of Yahweh Shem El Shai. You know? Now damn curses that got spells and witchcraft on it. You know?
Brings a low vibration.
Judith 5 and 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them and their power before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. And that's what the Most High is about to do to Esau, man. The Most High is about to fuck Esau up. You know? That's why I say in Isaiah, is this the man? You're going to be a reproach before all the world.
He's going to be embarrassed, he's going to be ashamed.
You know?
He's going to be exposed. That's what you call a public example right there. Imagine, at one point, a billionaire and a trillionaire brought down to nothing. All that growth and all that stuff that you had is all gone. That's why he said 1 hour, you should come to naught. His riches should come to naught. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The whole hour is going to take back in the poorhouse.
This is Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear, was that it on Joshua?
Yeah, that was it.
So shall they fear the name of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. So around the whole world, you know, they're going to fear the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because that name is going to be exalted. You know? It says it's a rock that the elect shall praise his holy name. You know? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua shall lift up a standard against him. When you go into the definition of that word standard, it means to take flight. It's going back to men actually flying. All right? Or to put to flight, because it says in Joshua, one man you shall chase 1,000, you know, or it also says to hide or to disappear. You know, like during the time of Exodus, where they were coming to take the babies, the Most High hid Moses. He had Moses hid. And to the point so much that Moses got raised up as the Pharaoh's son. You know? So Most High, he's gonna hide his elect. He's gonna give us power. You know? It says the angels of the Lord encamp around about those that fear him and deliver them. You know? In fact, get Daniel 12. It's going to get so bad out here, we're going to have protection from the angels, you know, which we already do to a degree, you know.
Daniel 12 and 1.
Oh, sorry, man.
1. The book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time,